Good morning, Dow Owls. We are ready to learn and be the best that we can be. Today is Monday, April the 12th. Please rise, put your right hand over your heart, and join us in the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. Will honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, indivisible. Start. As a student of Dowell School, today I'll do my best to set a foundation and be a success. Be courteous to others and respectful at all times to reach my potential. The responsibility is mine. The road is set. It starts with me. One day I'll graduate from a university.
Thank you, Owls. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is ready to have a great Monday and that everyone had a great weekend. This week, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders are going to have their district practice STAR test. Make sure, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, that you do your best. You give your 100%, that you have a quiet space to work, that you sleep well the night before, and that you eat breakfast. Remember that you cannot get help from anybody at home for those of you that are still at home, and you need to try your best. We need to see where we're at so that we can get ready for the upcoming STAR. I know that you can do it. I believe in you. This week, on Wednesday, we are celebrating our librarian. It's National School Librarian Day. So thank you, Ms. Martinez, for all that you do. If you see Ms. Martinez in the hallway or when you have her in class, tell her that you wish her a happy National School Librarians Day. And now, we have Mrs. Veyu and Mrs. Flores with some important announcements.
Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another week of school. We are so happy to announce that this week we will be showcasing our first Keep Your Cameras On video winner. Our winning video comes from Ian Aguirre, and he's in 5th grade, Miss Jimenez's class. Boys and girls, remember, if you like to submit a video, you can record it and submit it either to your teacher or Miss Martinez. Help us keep our school safe and positive, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week.
Hello, Dow Owls. Today we'll be talking about keeping your cameras on and wearing your mask properly. Keeping your camera on will let your teacher know that you are ready for a new day of school. If you do not have your camera on, it will make your teachers think that you are doing something else, you're somewhere else, or sometimes it will make them think that you're even sleeping. Now we will be talking about wearing your mask properly. You have to wear your mask like this, above your nose. Wearing it under your nose will not be safe. Put it on top of your nose. Thank you, Dow Owls, and have an excellent week.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. This week, we will continue learning about peace. Peace is proving to others that you care more about them than winning an argument. I'd also like to give you all a few tips on how to be a good friend. First and foremost, remember to treat others the way you want to be treated. In order to be a good friend, you need to be a good listener. You need to try to stay connected to your friend. You need to be supportive of your friend. Remember, it's important to have a support system such as good friends and, of course, your family. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye, boys and girls.
Thank you, Mrs. Veyu and Mrs. Flores. Celebrating birthdays this week. On the 12th, we have Miguel Urbin in 4D, and Mia Carvajal in 3C. Yael Ibarra in 2B. On the 13th, we have Alejandro Uribe in 4A, Jacob Velasquez in 4B. On the 14th, we have Debrea Martinez in 2C and Leilani Gamboa in 1C. On the 17th, David Colon in 4C. And on the 18th, Nereida Morales in 3B. Happy birthday, owls. I hope that you have or are having a great day. Our attendance winners for this week. This week we had 5 classes with perfect attendance. With perfect attendance, we have our LSU Tigers, Miss Daniels class, great job. 5B, Mrs. G's class, great job. This week, 2A, Mrs. Olguin's class joins the perfect attendance list. And also 3B, Mrs. Thompson's class joins the perfect attendance list. Great job, classes. And finally, we have 1A, Mrs. Torres class. Great job, 1A. This concludes our announcements for this morning. The time in the building is probably 8:15, around there. Remember our DAO core values: be positive, be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. Have an extraordinary day, owls, and don't forget to keep reading to win the challenge.
Good morning, Tigers, and welcome to Monday, 12 April 2021. For today's Foundations lesson, you are going to need your Foundations notebook, a writing tool, and you are going to sit in the writing position. Remember, we want to hold our pencil, flip it over, and we should be gripping it with 2 pincher fingers, all right? Not like this, all right? We are going to pay attention to our letter formation as we write. Maybe not as we're blending to write, but afterwards, when we blend to read, we want to make sure we are indeed blending the words that we wrote. So if there is a letter backwards, it's usually another letter, all right? So pay attention. I will be watching for that this week, especially for a few of you that I've already talked to about it. So, what do you know about robots? What jobs can robots do? Can robots be fun? We will have to learn some words and skills before we read so we can learn more about robots. Remember, these stories are found in Ed Your Friend in Learning. All right? So, let's get started. We're going to try the old way to do these high frequency words because there's a lot of irregular spellings this week, and so blending to write them first is probably not the best idea. So we're going to follow the steps, okay? We are going to see the word. That means we're going to look at the entire word. We are going to say the word. We are going to spell the word. Then we are going to write the word and then check the word against the screen, all right? So make sure you have a clean piece of paper. You are going to skip a line between the words, so you can spotlight any irregular spellings that we talk about, all right? So the first one, look at the word. The word is area. Say the word, area. Last week in math, we measured the area of a shape, didn't we? In square units, all right? So let's spell the word. A-R-E-A, area. Write and check the word. Area. All right, check the word against the screen. You'll notice that that is an irregular spelling for the EA, right? We studied 2 weeks ago in our spring training camp the E sound, and the E sound is spelled with EA, isn't it? Well, in this word, each of these vowels make their long vowel sound. So I want you to circle that part of the word area, all right? Because that is an irregular spelling for those 2 sounds. All right? Skip a line and write number 2. Let's look at the next word. Before I continue, let me tell you that in evidence, I'm not looking for the list of words. I'm looking for what we talked about. All right? Look at the whole word. This word is Around. Say the word around. Spell the word A-R-O-U-N-D. Around. Blend to write the word around. All right, check your word. As you're checking your word, what do you notice? In around, anything irregular? Right, that A sound in around, the A spelling for the sound is irregular, but we know that that A could have many sounds and we just flexed it, right? But go ahead and circle that first letter in this word. That first letter says even though it is indeed spelled with an A. All right? You could say around, but when we're speaking, we most commonly use the schwa sound of that letter. But if we weren't sure of that, we could just flex it. All right? That's number 2. Are you ready? Let's move on to number 3. Look at the whole word. You should instantly notice that hunks and chunks on the end, shouldn't you? Suffix ing. All right? Say the word. The word is coming. Spell the word C-O-M-I-N-G. Coming. I am coming to the store. Coming. Write and check the word. Coming. What do you notice? What do you wonder? When I ask that, I want you to see if you can find the irregular spellings for these sounds in this word. If this word is coming, which sound or which spelling is irregular? Right. That vowel sound usually says or o. In this word, it says And remember, that's a schwa sound. So this word is coming. And the root word for this word is come. Will you come to the store with me? And that also has an irregular spelling for that letter, doesn't it? Let's move on. See the word? Say the word from. Spell the word F-R-O-M. Blend to write the word. It's number 4. From. You're still pulling those sounds. As you're writing the sound, you're making the sound. And you need to write faster. All right? And then I'm going to write and check my word. I'm not only going to write that I think I spelled it right. I'm going to write to see that my letters are facing the right way. If you have your tablet right next to your paper, that's pretty easy. If your tablet is like propped up, just hold your paper up and look side to side. I don't want you to look up and look down and look up. I want you to hold your paper side right next to the screen. All right? If we look up and we look down, our letters might flip. All right. From. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Any irregular spellings? The same irregular spelling as the last one, right? If I was going to read that, I would say from, and then I would say, wait, that doesn't sound correct. Let me flex that vowel sound just a little bit to from. And I would move away from my error just by self-correcting using flex it. All right? Let's move on. That's number 4. We're moving on to number 5. So make sure you're skipping a line and make sure you are highlighting or spotlighting the irregular spellings that we talk about. That's evidence that you're not only copying the screen, but you are listening to what we need to pay attention to. All right? Look at the word. Look at the whole word. Say the word. Goes. Spell the word G-O-E-S. Goes. Write and check the word. Goes. All right. Check your word. What do you notice? What do you wonder? I wonder if anybody wrote a Q because they flipped their first letter. If you flip your letters, they're going to make different letters. That's why from now on we can't do that. It was all right when we didn't have complex words, but now we have complex words. We need to focus. No more sloppy sauce. That's what we're going to call it, sloppy sauce. Goes. You wonder anything irregular? There's a base word, go, and technically the OE spelling, but really ES is a suffix added to the word go. So that's how I'm highlighting my paper. So I know that it's go, and then I added suffix ES, which is the same thing as suffix S. But if I added suffix S, it would have made goss. I don't want goss, I want goes. All right? We're going to move on to number 6. First of all, when you are writing the last letter, and I'm trying not to say letter names, when you are writing the last letter in this word, you need to make sure this is the letter you're writing. Check your letter, the last letter. Notice the top curve is like a C and you wrap around like a snake. Curve around, snake it down. All right. It's on you to check it. You know I'm going to be looking. All right, follow the steps. See the word. What do you automatically notice? That hunk and chunk at the end jumped out at you, didn't it? And then it just left the base word. So say the word. Going. Spell the word. G-O-I-N-G. Write and check the word. Going. I still want you to make those sounds. Go-ing. I'm going to say ing at the end. I'm not going to say I-n-j. I'm going to say ing. And the word is going. Underline the base word in going as you write and check your word. Going. All right. You got it? Anything irregular? No, not if we understand those hunks and chunks, right? So suffix ing means it's happening now, right? And what's happening? Go. When am I doing it? Now, so I am going to change the screen. Here we go. All right. See the word? Say the word. The word is second. Second. Say the word. Second. Spell the word. S-E-C-O-N-D. Before you even start to write that word, look at it. What I mean is look at the first letter. Second. I am the second child in my family. It will only take a second to finish the job. Say the word again. Second. All right? Write and check the word. Number 7. Second. You know, for those of you that know cursive already, it's impossible to write that letter backwards in cursive. But I want to see that you can print it correctly too. All right, check your word. What do you notice? What do you wonder? In second. Second. Anything irregular? Second. There's 60 seconds in a clock, right? In a minute. I don't think there's anything irregular. Anything irregular to you? Second. I think this word is exactly how it sounds with regular spellings. All right. See the word, look at the whole word. You should instantly see that suffix pop out at you. And then you should instantly recognize before you make any sounds. Recognize that there is a root word, and so that is indeed suffix ed. All right? Say the word seemed. Seemed. Spell the word S-E-E-M-E-D. Seemed. Dad seemed tired, so I helped him clean up. Say the word seemed. Blend to write the word. Seemed. D. I heard a D on the end. A D. All right, what do you notice? What do you wonder? Underline the root word. If you want, you can put a box on suffix ed. You don't have to. Suffix ed, we know, makes three sounds. Ed, d, or t. In this word, the sound of that suffix is in seemed, d, right? Seemed. And I'm showing you mine to show you how I wrote it, all right? Make sure that snake is not biting you. There's lots of that we can look at on the screen, isn't there? I always think of this is the snake's mouth. You know how snakes have that little tongue? That's the snake's head. This is his tail. Their tails aren't dangerous. We can touch the tail, but his head is up on top. All right. Only you can prevent a backwards S. Kind of like Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent a forest fire. All right. Seemed. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Any irregular spellings? E-double-E always says E. Suffix ed. Ed, d, or t. I think we're golden on this word. However, from studying the E in Advanced Phonics Camp, you know there's many spellings for the E sound, isn't there? In seemed, it is the double E. All right. You ready to move on to number 9? Make sure you're skipping a line and make sure you are checking your words. When you are done and when you're writing and checking your word, you are blending to read the word that you wrote. This word is not zeemed. However, if you wrote that letter backwards, it is zeemed. All right. See the word? Say the word. There. Spell the word. T-H-E-R-E. There. Blend to write it. There. And we know this word is a homophone, don't we? There are a few theres. So I need to think about what this word means. And I see this word inside. This word is... Did you know this was inside of here? What is that word that I just put a box on? Here. So there, that's spelled like this, has here in it because there is a place. Did you know that? Some homophones you got to just think about the way they're spelled. All right? Any irregular spellings here? When you had what sounds do we hear? Air. Air. We kind of hear air, don't we? So there is indeed an irregular spelling. This E-R-E should be E, vowel consonant E, right? Or E consonant E. But that's an irregular spelling in there. Because it should sound like ear, but it's not the ear. But that E-R-E should be like we read it in here. You should say ear, E-R-E. But it's an irregular spelling. So we need to pay attention to it. However, it does mean a place. Just like here is a place. Just like where is asking about a place. All right? Let's move on to the last one. See the word? The word is who. In my opinion, this is the hardest word to spell. In my opinion. I often forget how to spell this word. I don't forget how to read it, but I often forget how to spell it. Let's figure out why. Let's do our strategy, shall we? See the word. Say the word. Who. Spell the word. W-H-O. Write and check the word. Do you see the problem this becomes? Blend to read that word. Blend to write that word. You're going to write, right? This word you have to memorize, all right? Because when we blend to read, we can do that with most words. Only about 10 words, I would say. Totally break every rule, all right? So let's write it and then check it, because it's hard to blend to write this word because it's totally irregular. Let's look at why. So check your word against the screen, and I'm holding my paper up, putting it next to the screen because I don't want to look up and down and write backwards H's. Some of you are like, how does she know? Trust me, I know. All right, so W-H-O, make sure you spelled it right. What is this word? Who. What do you notice? What do you wonder? What is irregular? The first sound we hear in the word who is what? But we have a WH, and we know WH is. Well, in this word, the WH, just go ahead and circle that WH, because in this word, the W is silent and the H is its sound, right? Very uncommon spelling for that sound. And then we hear ooh, ooh. And we did learn that ooh could be spelled with just the O. Very irregular. That means it doesn't happen a lot. So go ahead and circle that too. I'm just going to put 2 circles because I have 2 sounds and they are both irregular. So this is why I say this is the most difficult word to spell. Not to read because it's mapped in your brain. But when you're spelling, you spell with sound. So this one you have to memorize. I try to never tell you to memorize anything because I want you to learn instead of memorize. This word, though, probably the first word I showed you all year that we have to memorize. All right? So, you got them? So hold your paper up and let me see all your spotlights. Hold your paper up. I want to see how neat you wrote them. I'm checking your S's. And I meant to say the letter name. In number 7 and number 8, you know who you are. Check your S's. Number 7 and number 8 begin with the letter S. The letter S in print. I know you've seen this before. I'm starting with my curve like a C. Curves up to the midpoint if you're writing a lowercase. Curves up to the midpoint. Curves around. Curves around. And then curves back for the letter S. And so I started. Let me put a green dot. I started at the green light, I curved back around like a C, and then I brought it around to the stop sign where the tail is, right? So I'm not going to get bit because I'm on this side, right? So here's me, and my hand is over here with my pencil, and I want to keep that head away from me. Let me draw a little person right here. And I'm just going to draw a stick figure because I don't have much room on my space. So this is where my body is. So I'm always going to make sure that S is facing away from me, because that snake's tongue is right there, and he's facing away from my body. Or he's facing to the right, all right? Because my body is always on the left side of my paper if I'm right-handed though. So if you're left-handed, it's going to be a little different. But it's always facing away. You always start with the C, all right? Oh, we got to read them. Most important thing. I just want to focus on getting that letter straight this week. I wanted to nip it last week, but I guess we'll do it this week. Here we go from the top. Read with me, starting with number 1. Number 1, go. Area. Around. Freeze. As you're reading, I want you to look at what we spotlighted. Think about what you're going to make, what sound you're going to make when you're blending to read those words, all right? And if you make a ah instead of a, flex it if it doesn't sound right. Practice your flex it strategy when the word is irregular. You don't have to always get it right the first time, but you need to listen to yourself, all right? So here we go from the top again. Number 1, go. Area, around, coming, from, goes, going, second, seems, there, who. All right? Bonus word. Everybody draw a star. Because you have to be here right now this second to get this bonus word. Or watch this recording right now this second. The bonus word is tigers. Not one, more than one. We are LSU Fighting Tigers. Tigers, more than one. Suffix S, more than one. Tigers. Go ahead. Tigers. Tigers. There's no Q and there's no Z in this word. Thank you, Isaiah, for checking your letter S. All right, here we go. Let's move on, shall we? Remember, when you turn this in, you are going to read it to me again to include this word down here. To include this word. Now let's play with sounds and words briefly. I'm just going to talk to you about what we're going to go through in depth this week. But today, since we had our high frequency words, we're just going to do a brief synopsis into this week's discussions. All right? Let's get started. The activity on this slide is blending syllables. I will say the syllables in a picture name. You will blend the syllables to say the word and look for the matching picture on the screen. Right now, I want everyone to put their pencil down, and we're just going to listen, and we're going to go pretty fast. All right, I'm just going to do a few of them for today. All right, I will say the syllables in a picture name. You will blend the syllables to say the word and look for the matching picture on the screen. If you see the picture in the top row, raise your arms high like this, like raise the roof. All right. If you see it in the bottom row, touch your toes. Watch your head on the table. Touch your toes if you see it on the bottom, all right? You ready to play? Here's the first one. The first one, listen. Spider. I see a picture of a spider in the bottom row, so you should be touching your toes, all right? Because the word is spider, okay? We're just going to do a couple. All right. Sit back up so you can see the pictures and listen. The word is picnic. Say the word and show me up or down. Yes, picnic. This family is on a picnic. All right? You ready for the next one? The syllables are rainbow, rainbow. I see you're touching your toes. Good job. All right, you ready for the next one? The next one, hammer. Good job. You might have noticed that I was bottom, top, bottom, top. Now where am I going? All right, listen closely. The syllables are ko-wal-a, ko-all-a, ko-wal-la. Yes, this bear is a koala bear, right? Ko-all-la. He's a hard one to blend into syllables because those vowels in those two syllables get like mixed pretty strong. All right, good job. All right, we're done with that. This week we are going to talk about different types of syllable patterns. A few months ago we would talk about patterns, spelling patterns in each syllable. And the spelling patterns in each syllable we learned usually tell us what the vowel sound should be. Now we know there's irregularities all the way through our English language, so we are always going to keep fresh in our mind that Flexit strategy. Okay, we've previously talked about open syllables and closed syllables. Okay, so this week we'll review that again. I just wanted to touch base real quick as we head into this week. All right, look at the entire word. Do you have an idea where we're going to chunk it? So this letter right here could have the ah sound or the o sound. It's followed by a consonant, but there's something else we could consider. So we could try it with both. If you're not sure, what do? You blend to read it and then you flex it if it doesn't make sense. So let's try that. Blend it. Let's blend it with the short sound. Blend it with me. La cow. La cow. And that doesn't sound right to me either. You guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. Well, that's what it sounds if I make a short vowel. All right, now let's make it with the long sound of this letter, which is O. All right, blend it with O. Low-cow. Low-cow, and that's how you blended it. All right, so this is an open syllable. You see that? And you might remember that it's a vowel, consonant, vowel, and we divide the word after the first vowel. And even if you don't remember that or don't know where to chunk this word, you, my friends, can blend to read this word by the Flexit strategy, okay? Because if you don't know the word, if you're not sure of the pattern, if it's not following an irregular pattern, you have to have something to do. You can't just say, oh, I don't know the word. Goodness no, that's why we have in our reading toolbox that Flexit strategy, okay? So this is low cow. Actually, this is schwa a, so it doesn't sound right to me either over here. So we make, and I like to put two little dots when it's a schwa sound, local. So this vowel could say a, or ah, local. This is ul, the schwa, right? So we need the Flexit strategy, especially for multi-syllable words, because we had to flex this, and then once we got to this, it wasn't exactly right, so we just modified or flexed it just a little bit. So we'll be practicing that a lot this week, okay? Okay, my friends, that's it for today's lesson. We are going to head on over, turn in our evidence, get our foundations passage and questions done. All right, remember what's most important is the questions. All right, if you have not listened to the agenda video this week, go ahead and listen to the agenda video. There's some important tips to be successful this week. All right, remember we have art today at 9:45. Everything else is on the schedule. Art is even on the schedule. Okay, Tigers. Toodaloo. You do know what to do. You do not need to sit here if you know what to do. All right? I'll see you in small group. Gold group, already start your fluency folder before I get there. All right? See you soon, Tigers.